Right Honourable Patricia, QC, Commonwealth Secretary General, Excellency Hailemariam Dessalegn, Excellency AU Commissioner for Rural Economy and Agriculture, Josefa, Sacko, my dear sister, Excellency Mrs. Roman Tesfaye, Dr. Agnes Kalibata, President of the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, honorable dignitaries, distinguished guests, good morning. Allow me to begin by congratulating the organizers of AGRF, the premier platform for the disruptive leadership, agriculture, as an enabler of integrated, equitable, and sustainable growth. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, political instability and conflict, climate change, and widening wealth gaps, food security has deteriorated rather than improved around the globe over the past couple of years. I say alarming, esteemed guests, but not damning. Budget reallocation, strategy policy adjustment, and determined advocacy could put us on the right track to meeting our global 2030 ending world hunger goal. Ladies and gentlemen, this 12th AGRF summit under the theme Grow, Nourish, and Reward Bold Actions for Resilient Food Systems is very well chosen to address AU Agenda 2063 and the 5 Ps of sustainable development within Agenda 2030, namely people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. Indeed, this theme is ideally situated to reinforce the AU's year of nutrition. In matters of health, individual and social progress, and indeed overall welfare, nutrition is the inception point. Good nutrition is the cornerstone of health, peace, holistic wellness, and prosperity. It's well known that people with healthy eating habits and patterns avert obesity and non-communicable diseases, notably heart disease, diabetes, and even some cancers. Therefore, to champion for good nutrition across the world is a necessary feature and of any responsible leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, the 6th edition of the Global Report of Food on Food Crisis came out in May this year. It gives valid reasons for concern. According to this report, the alarming high incidence of acute food insecurity and malnutrition starkly exposes the fragility of global and local food systems that under mounting strain from the increase and severity of weather extremes, the COVID-19 pandemic, insecurity, and rising global food prices. The interconnectedness of drivers is further laid bare by the unfolding war in Ukraine, which not only compromises the food security of those directly affected by the war, but compounds existing challenges faced by millions of acutely food insecure people worldwide. End of quote. Honorable guests, we are told that a projected 660 million people may still face hunger by 2030, half of whom will be on our continent. This reiterates why peace and security are non-negotiable. One of the main drivers of food insecurity in Africa is conflict. Conflict creates internally displaced persons who are no longer able to till their lands and maximize production. Other factors include the high cost of food, where it is available, of course, and income inequality and climate variations. As the AU has raised before, there exist on the continent 2 polar nutritional problems and a shrinking gap between these two. We are now suffering from both undernutrition and obesity. I shall not venture into explaining to the experts in this room why obesity is less distant from undernutrition than we might think, and why a lot of modern manufactured diets we espouse may well leave us both lacking in nutrients and at the same time alarming overweight. How do we achieve healthy, balanced farming and fishing-based diets? We must draw wisdom from the global trend of a return to indigenous agriculture practices, greater consumption of biofoods, and regular exercise to purge lifestyle-related diseases. Esteemed guests, the RNAs targets a 40% reduction in stunting in children aged under 5 by 2025. The strategy commends Rwanda and our sibling nations, Senegal and Ethiopia, for the significant reduction achieved in our respective countries over the past few years. But we still have a long way to go. Allow me to share a few minutes remaining of a few facts regarding innovations in Rwanda that address the issue of food insecurity and nutrition. And I hope that I won't overwhelm you with details this early morning, but hopefully the Rwandan coffee you had with your breakfast was strong enough to make the next few illustrations engaging. The first is the Rwanda focus on beans as a superfood in our land of 1,000 hills. Over 90% of rural households grow beans across all agroecological zones, contributing to 32% of their calories intake and 65% of their protein intake. This leads to less resilient on red meat. We understood earlier on that we were vegan before all this started, which is growing less affordable, is widely linked to diseases such as gout, and is known to increase greenhouse emissions. Rwanda has also strived to diversify its approaches to combating child stunting, as earlier mentioned, under nutrition-sensitive development frameworks. It's been enrolling successful models across the country, such as the Early Childhood Development Centers, a partnership between the government of Rwanda, Imbuto, which I have the honor to chair, and UNICEF. ECDs prioritize healthy nutrition and healthy habits for children in and out of school. The Rwandan government has instilled and actively monitors the implementation of food-related policies, enriching the most consumed condiment, and that is maize flour, wheat flour, oil, sugar, and salt. Rwanda has instilled a 1 cup of milk per day per child policy, which complements the country's attribution of 400,000 cows to families in need. Similarly, locally instilled practices are school feeding for children and our 3 food trees per home campaign. And last but not least, to complement the attempt to good nutrition, community-friendly practices have been instilled, such as a monthly umuganda for a clean environment and a bi-monthly car-free day for exercise in public spaces. Ladies and gentlemen, Rwanda is obliged to employ homegrown solutions, both as a geographically small country and as one whose survival and progress have been rooted in self-protection and self-sustainability. Nutrition-wise, this has meant investing in land consolidation and crop intensification programs, local production of improved seeds, making farmers less dependent on imported seeds, access to which was heavily compromised during the pandemic and excessively financially burdensome throughout the years. 80% of the improved seeds used in Rwanda are now sourced in Rwanda. We believe that these practices are aligned with the AU's ambition of increasing productivity, accessibility, desirability, affordability, and sustainability in our food systems, a mirror to our own national strategy for transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, as Rwandans, we are delighted to have been named by the African Union Commission as the best country overall in implementing the Malabo Agricultural Transformation Policy Framework for the 3rd year in a row. Honourable guests, I applaud the commitment you have shown in championing good nutrition for the citizens of your countries. We must never tire in using our respective public platforms, our resources, and our access to advocating for nutrition and agricultural research, and to implement our own programs in the fields of agriculture, nutrition, climate resilience, and wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for taking the risk in us, the First Ladies, with no legal framework and no accountability. I thank you for offering me this opportunity to express my passion for health and good nutrition on our continent. And until next time, let us never forget that the citizens of our countries are owed a healthy planet, healthy nourishment, and a healthy life. I thank you.
Please, another round of applause to a guest of honor, the First Lady of the Republic of Rwanda, Her Excellency, Mrs. Jeannette Kagame.